actually fascinated by the players in the bubble that are saying things like, we shouldn't be here. What the hell are we even doing down here? And the other players that are talking about boycotting. A lot of people talking about
which is dumb.
Yeah. And players going home.
Well, yeah. Listen, you lose,
today,
you get sent home anyway.
No, but I'm saying, like, there are players that, according to Nick Nurse, who's the Raptors head coach of the year, says, I have players talk about they're just going to go home. Not boycott. They're just going to go home.
Bye. Because
I'm trying to figure out where is that good? In other words, listen,
right.
Look, I said this to you guys from the very beginning. And for those of you that are just getting back to the show because we're back on radio, this argument was going on months ago. I was saying back then, Dwight Howard had a point. I mean, there was a time where Dwight Howard was talking about not going into the bubble. And part of his reasoning was he was of the belief. And by the way, there were other players. I think Kyrie Irving was kind of the leader of that group that was saying things like, going into the bubble and playing basketball is going to take away from the message. And a lot of people say, well, that's wrong. We need basketball. We need the platform. We need TV to share the message. And now you're in the bubble and you're sharing the message, but something else has happened out there in the real world. And I'm not saying I know this for sure, because of course I don't, but I sense that some of these guys are feeling like helpless, like I'm stuck here, but I want to do more out there.
Because I get what Browner's point is about it's useless, it's stupid, it's dumb to do the boycott thing. I get that perspective 100%. But what I think we're failing to understand is how many guys chose to go to the bubble thinking that their message would make a difference. You know, obviously it could have been a really long shot that would have happened, right? But how many guys actually think, like, listen, basketball doesn't matter, but if I go, I can spread this message and do my part. And then when things continue to happen, like what happened in Wisconsin, they just kind of get like deflated about it. You know what? It's not worth being here because it's not working. So let me go do something somewhere else. And I think that is an honorable thing to do. And you can slam it all you want, which I get. Like I said, I get the perspective. If you leave, your platform significantly decreases of who's going to hear your voice. But you can go back to your community. You can go back to your area that you live and try and make changes where you live. And if it's not working and I'm stuck in a bubble and I'm stuck in a hotel room 24/7, then let me get out of here and let me go try and do something at home.
I wonder what they're going to do. But I just wonder what they're like. What would you do? Like, I mean, if I were in the bubble, hypothetically,
but how many players were part of protests? How many players were going to capitals, to their city official offices? There was a lot of players doing it before the bubble even started.
There were about 20 guys who you could see and know who were doing that. There are over 300 guys in the league. My issue with boycotting, my issue with guys going home, go home and do what? Are you going to go home now and turn up on Fox News? Are you going to go home now and turn up on CNN or MSNBC or Good Morning Today or Good Day America? Are you going to go home and turn up on your local news? Or are you going to go home and turn up on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram?
Right, and we don't know that though. But I just think the way I'm hearing it is that you think no one's going to do anything and that you think it's pointless, but you don't know that. That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't know that. And clearly, obviously, it's not whatever they think they're doing in the NBA is clearly not working. Especially what you saw last night. What you saw last night was one of the sickest things that I think I've, like, beyond George Floyd. What the cops did in Kenosha last night was the most eye-opening thing that I can remember, dude. Like,
all right, I'm admitting it. I'm out of the news cycle, guys, and I feel stupid about it.
Doc Rivers thing before we started.
I know. I feel a little stupid because, you know, after the George Floyd thing, you guys know how impacted I know I was and lots of other people were. And you know, how we immediately said we got to do something about this. And we did. I mean, we did a small part, you know. I swear to you guys, I'm like, I feel like I'm out of the news cycle. So what part? Are you talking about the shootings in
last night?
Tell me what happened.
There was a white kid, literally a kid. He looked like he was a teenager who was walking around with an assault rifle, who was basically welcomed by police officers in Kenosha.
Given water.
Given water. He's holding the rifle. He's going to police officers there. He's pointing at them like things of what to do, what to say. They give him water. They tell him, thank you.
Thank you.
He's holding an assault rifle. And then no later than, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes later, he shot somebody in the head and shot 15 people.
He murdered 2 people and injured another one, and fired a countless amount of rounds into a crowd of people.
You're telling me just because, again, think about it like this. I've just come down from outer space. I'm unaware of the story.
Yes.
You're telling me that a child, and I don't know how old the kid, I mean, even he's a young kid, a young person is outwardly carrying an assault rifle in front of police officers.
Yes.
Yes.
They're not saying, give us the gun or freeze.
No. They're saying, thank you for being here.
And that person, the kid, eventually shoots and kills 2 people.
Yes.
Yep. And there is video of that same kid. There's videos of the people on the ground with bullets, with them bleeding out of their head. And I think that's, that just kind of goes to show what everybody's talking about. The guy, whatever you think of Jacob Blake and why did he walk away and why is he doing this or whatever your excuse is, he was not armed. He did not have a gun. He didn't have anything. And he got shot in the back 7 times. This white kid is literally walking in front of cops, being given water, being told thank you with an assault rifle. They do nothing. He goes out and he murders 2 people.
Can I please? I mean, listen, I just want to say this is not where I expected us to start, but I'd like to go back to Doc Rivers because I want to hear what he said, because that's where we started. And then I'd love to see, I say love, I mean, I'd just like to see the video that we're talking about, because I guarantee you guys right now that
video would be difficult for you to watch here to explain it. It's a scattered video. You have to watch it multiple times.
There's a lot of videos of it.
Yeah, it's people running everywhere. It's hard.
No. I mean the video of the kid being welcomed in by the cops. Like that's the video. I'd be more curious to see that.
Also, like if you are coming home from outer space and you are trying to realize what happened,
go back.
So Kenosha, Wisconsin, Kenosha,
get out of here. Kenosha. Like this world is so screwed up, man, between coronavirus and what is going on in our world right now with police and Black Lives Matter and protests. And then, of course, the protests and the corona perpetuation talk. I mean, if you just came from outer space, freaking get back on your spaceship and go home, E.T.
There's no audio on this one because you guys can't hear, but here's the video of the kid walking around,
waving to the cops.
Yep.
I don't understand this at all. I'm so confused by what I'm seeing right here because
that's the shooter.
No, but I'm confused because if I saw any person walking the streets, black or white, carrying an assault rifle, I'd run. Because I'd be so petrified that in this world today where, mass shootings happen,
they're literally walking with him right here in this video that's on screen. He is walking with police officers.
Well, I don't get it.
Coordinating.
Have the police officers said why in God's name they wouldn't be taking the gun from the guy?
Wisconsin is an open carry state, which makes, by the way, because this is the last thing I'll say about this, because before I overreact, Wisconsin is an open carry state. Mm-hmm. So the fact that they're going to tell you, the police are going to tell you that this man who they shot in the back 7 times was going for a gun or going for a knife, and here is this white kid walking through a crowd of people, basically an active shooter with an assault rifle, shooting people, and is taken into custody. No scratches, no punches, not tackled, coordinated the situation with the police. Like, what more explanation do you need? How much more evidence do you need to see that this is not equal justice for all? It doesn't make any sense.
You know what I'm super confused by in all of this is the cop in Wisconsin who shoots Mr. Blake. By the way, did you hear LeBron James the other night calling him James Blake, not Jacob Blake? Did you happen to catch any of that? Did you hear a couple of those clips?
No, but I keep catching myself saying James Blake. So
yeah,
so I have to say Jacob.
Yeah, I know. I say Mr. Blake. We should get James Blake back on the show. For those of you that don't know who James Blake is, he was a superstar tennis player. He became a tennis announcer. He got roughed up by cops in New York because he's a black guy standing there, and it was mistaken identity, and they wanted it to all go away, but it was all caught on video, and that's where these kinds of guys got busted. So, but here's the thing. If you're a white police officer in America today, you have to be more petrified to put on that uniform every day and go out there to work, right? And then you get out there and now you have an African-American man that you're trying to arrest and it's not going real well. And when you decide to take out your gun, it reminds me of that moment in the movie. I got to think of the name of the movie. What's the name of Lone Survivor? Lone Survivor.
Okay.
You guys ever see Lone Survivor? Lone Survivor, the Navy SEALs are having to
Mark Wahlberg, right?
Yeah, they're and in the book, Marcus Luttrell explains this story that these Navy SEALs are there. They've got these hostages. Then if they shoot them and kill them, which is what they really should have been doing, this is what they're saying. If we shoot them and kill them, we move on. If we don't shoot them and we free them, they're going to go tell the Taliban that we're here and we're going to have a war on our hands. And as you know, all of those Navy SEALs died that day. And by the way, more Navy SEALs died as a result because when they were trying to come in and rescue these guys, they got blown out of the air. So many American lives, top level Navy SEAL guys died as the result of these guys having this conversation where they're like, politically, we're going to get destroyed. If we shoot and kill these goat herders, we're all going to get in big trouble. But if we don't shoot them and kill them, they're going to go tell the Taliban and we're all going to die. And that's what happened. That's actually what happened. If you're a white cop in America, the second you take your gun out, when you have an African-American male, or it doesn't matter, male or female, right? But as soon as you take your gun out, dude, aren't you thinking to yourself like, oh, bad situation. Like taking my gun out for me, as long as he's not armed, okay, and there's several of us and there's only one of him, I'm going to leave my gun. In fact, I'm leaving my gun in my car. In fact, you know what? I'm not even taking my gun on the streets today because I don't even want to take a chance of potentially shooting somebody and having the whole country get reignited. Sometimes I wonder, what this cop, what was he thinking? What was he feeling? What was going on in his mind?
There was such a level of I don't give a damn,
right?
With that cop, if you are a police officer, and I'm just not gonna say white, black, and whatever. If you are a police officer in the times that we're living in, and you shoot anybody in the back 7 times with their 3 kids in the car, there's a level of that you just don't care that I cannot comprehend. Like in the times that we're living in, how is that not crossing your mind?
And 2 things. This is not a black or white cop issue. This is a cop issue because black officers have done the exact same thing. So what I would like to say is this. If you are a police officer, white or black, you put that uniform on in the morning, you shouldn't be afraid to go to work. You should be proud because this is your opportunity. These are your interactions to change the thought stream that people have with police. Yeah, you're going to run into some crazies, but also you're going to run into people that actually need your help. And so when you put that uniform on in the morning, remember why you did it. That's going to make the day better for whomever you come across. You can change the narrative of how people respond to you simply by being a good police officer. I know police officers have bad days because they're human. They're working. They're on the job. Every day on the job isn't excellent. But the days that are not excellent, as long as they don't end with 7 shots in some guy's back, you're doing a good job.